Greetings viewers, it's me, Eric the Car Guy. If it's your birthday, yeah, I'm talking to you. Happy birthday. Here's another episode of The Takeaway, and this one is about my lift. Yes, recently I posted a video to my Eric the Car Guy channel about replacing the starter on my 2004 Honda Element. And in my view, I thought it was easier to go in from underneath and replace the starter that way. And there's a contingent of people out there who think that removing the intake manifold and getting to the starter that way is the best way. And I'm of the opinion that, you know what, there's like 100 different ways to do things in auto repair. As far as a right or wrong way, it's really up to you. I try to go by efficiency, and it's my efficiency, so my standards are different than others. In other words, I'm a live and let live kind of guy when it comes to this type of thing, but when I feel something is easier or better, I try to convey that to the audience. How is this relevant? Well, reading through the comments to that video, there were several people that made the comment, well, it's easy that way with a lift, implying that not having a lift, it's easier to remove the intake and get to the starter that way. And in a way, it seemed like kind of a dig towards me and my lift, which I find interesting and ironic, because let's flash back to like 2011-ish. I started my Eric the Car Guy channel in 2009. I started ETCG1 in 2010. And right around 2011 was when things started to happen for me. I started to get noticed, and I started to get known as, you know, an auto repair guy on YouTube. And at that time, in those comments to those videos, there was a lot of things to the effect of, because I was in my old shop, I was not in this shop, no lift, and it was a cramped, dark place. I was happy to have it. It was out of the weather, and it was the best darn place to work on stuff that I had at that time. And I'm grateful that I had it. I had it actually for several years before I started doing any Eric the Car Guy videos. But the point is, there was no lift there. There was no lift in 2011 when I was first starting out doing both of these channels. And at that time, there was a growing contingency of people that kept saying, Eric, you've got to get a lift. I mean, you've got to. You're rolling around the ground. You can't do that forever. You're getting older, and you got to get a lift. And at that time, I was like, well, the space that I'm working in isn't really big enough to put a lift into, and you know, all that. And aside from that, this is what I said then. This is what I said over and over. In fact, I said this over and over so much, I started a forum thread on my website about why Eric the Car Guy doesn't have a lift. And one of the things that I said over and over was, many of you out there that watch my videos don't have a lift. And I want to try to emulate and mimic your situation more closely by doing that. And that was absolutely 100% true. And over time, you know, the channel got more popular, and eventually Bendpak reached out to me and they said, hey, you know, this is after I moved into the big shop, which is what we have here, which is Playland on steroids. So Bendpak reaches out to me and they said, hey Eric, how about we hook you up with a lift? I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? And I really had to think, because according to my earlier statement, I didn't want to go down that road because I wanted to stay true to what you do. And this space, worlds away from my old space, without a lift. You know, it was nice to have the big open areas. It was nice to, you know, be able to stretch out. You know, and every time I was jacking up a car, I wasn't hitting a wall. It was great. In fact, at that old shop, I would always work on things, and I would back things in if I had to work on the right side of the car, because the left side was right up against the wall. So this was awesome. But Bendpak is here knocking at the door saying, hey Eric, you want a lift? And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, it was a tough decision for a minute. And then I said, well, heck yeah, because I'm getting older. I've been doing this. I've been working as a professional mechanic since 1996, and I was working on cars and stuff before then. So I've been rolling around on the ground on cardboard and all that kind of stuff a long time. And I can tell you, at 47, which is where I'm at now in 2018, it gets old. You get old. And getting up off the ground and rolling back under vehicles, you do that for 20 some years. And I'm not saying I did that when I worked professionally. Of course we had lifts and things, but point is anything that I did outside of work, it was rolling around on the ground, and it was like that for several years. And you know, to have the ability to have something like this and work with something like this and this lift, heck yeah. Heck yeah, I freaking love it. But the takeaway here is how hypocritical, well, maybe hypocritical is not the word. It's just how success can sometimes work against you. And that's the takeaway here. I'm not trying to say that people in the audience are not entitled to their feelings of being jealous of my lift and my shop and all the cool stuff here, because you should. However, I got here through hard work. Like hard work before it was Eric the Car Guy. And then Eric the Car Guy, I was going through my videos yesterday, and I have over 800 videos on Eric the Car Guy. I don't know how many hundred I have on ETCG1 also. I've put out a lot of information, a lot of useful information, and information that has helped a lot of people. My videos have been viewed over 200 million times and growing. And I put that time in. I put myself in the spot where sponsors reached out and said, hey, Eric, we want you to try this, or we want you to do that. I put myself here, and that was through a lot of hard work. But I am not going to negate the fact that without my audience watching these videos, helping to put me on that pedestal, that I would also not be here. So the way I see things is going forward, I still want to give back as much as possible, but I enjoy working in this environment. I enjoy working with this lift, but I don't appreciate the resentment that I'm getting towards a lift that I now have that I didn't have before, and when everybody was screaming I should get one. It's funny. And maybe this is a word of caution. Should you ever find yourself in my shoes, this may be something that you necessarily need to face, because I never thought of this. I never thought that there would be resentment on this level, well, this far down the road. I think at this point, everybody knows that I've had a lift. I've had it since 2015, and I've loved every minute of it, appreciated every minute of it. Thank you, Bendpak, seriously. I'll link it down in the description. You can check out my lift, and man, those people have been really, really good to me. But the point is, I worked to get here, so, give me that. Those of you that are real fans, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I'm making a video. How about that? I'm making a video that makes for a good discussion. But the takeaway about the lift is, hey, if you want a lift, work hard and get one. Work hard and get someplace where you can have a place where you can install one. And I hope you get there. I really do. And if you use my videos to help you get there, more power to you. Great. Let's think of it that way. But let's not look at Eric the Car Guy as being some kind of sellout, blah, 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 blah. Because I can tell you what, if you were in my shoes, you'd be doing the exact same thing. It's jealousy that's driving you in those comments. It's not that I did anything wrong. It's that, well, I'm living the American dream. You got something against that? If you do, fine. But you know what? I'm not going to listen to it. I'm done. That's the takeaway. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Automotive questions, EricTheCarGuy.com, link down in the description. Love to hear your comments on this one. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. I will see you next time.